Hey guys, it's Caleb with White Metal Games. It is Sunday, November 12th or 13th, I think. So I've been working on some stuff around the workshop. Thought I'd show it around. So let's just dive right into it. First up, in my D&D game, we have an encounter coming up where the players are going to be facing a large demon. And D&D has this demon called a Glabrazoo, which is a massive demon on a huge 60mm base. But I wasn't particularly impressed with the price. It goes for about $30, 30 to 35 for a mini that I'm really only going to use once or twice. So I wanted to come up with a cheaper option. So this is what I came up with. It's kit bash in the very definition of the word. The lower legs and upper legs are obviously from some sort of action figure. The green one, you can probably guess what he was. The arms are from a Tyranid Carnifex, so you can see we've blended those together and put them back together. The tail and the head are from a dragon, and the lower arms are from a D&D miniature. So we put all that together, and he's on a 60mm base. He's pretty big, but I think he's fairly close to the actual Glabrazoo, and so I'll be priming him up. The lower legs, if you can tell, are actually from an old He-Man toy from a McDonald's meal. So that goes to show you that just about anything can really work for conversion if you open your mind up to it. Now, the upper body and the lower body are obviously out of scale. The arms are much bigger than the legs on this thing. But that being said, for a quick and dirty conversion, saved me $35 with stuff I already had around my workshop. It wasn't a bad way to do it. These guys are going to be used for some Necron conversions I have coming up. I'm going to be working on that real shortly. So you'll be seeing those up on eBay. I know there's lots of people who are about to drop their Necron conversions on the world, so this will be mine. Let's see what we got up here. This is an alien spore pod I'm working on to see if I can sort of create one master pod to cast. It's sort of a proxy. We're going to see how it comes out. Obviously, it's in its very early stage. It still has a lot of work to go. But you can see the foundations of it there. So I wanted to do a Bright Stallion for a while now, which is an Eldar vehicle. I kind of always figured the old Stridor model would be a good way to attempt it. But I always had trouble finding all the necessary bits I needed. That's actually a little lopsided. I'll have to fix that. Anyway, so I took this old Stridor model, and I found this guy, which is a Tron figure. And basically, I just took him, cut off his lower body, and added these extenders to his arms. So eventually, he'll be mounted something like that. And then on the fronts of those arms, I'll put some cannons. I know it's a little hard to see. Let's see if that focuses a little bit better. I like the smoothness of his faceplate and of his body armor. I think that works with the Eldar stuff very well. I realize most of my bigger converted models like this don't really sell very well, so I'm pretty much getting out of it. All I'm doing now is just trying to sort of cut my losses. So this is trying to use what I already had in my workshop and sort of make a couple bucks at it. So this guy, when he's all finished up, he'll be up on eBay. He probably won't go for that much. He'll probably go for 20 bucks for all I know. Been working on some casting. I finally got the time to do some molds this weekend, so I made some new molds. So here are the molds that I built, and I built some other ones over there. To show you the positive copies of them, what we came up with this was one of the things we did, which was a brood nest. Forge World stopped making theirs. So we came up with this, which is based on a Lotus pod, and some Tyranid bits thrown in there on a 100mm resin base. And then we filled in all the gaps and stuff like that so that it would cast. Let me see if I can get a miniature so we can show you a scale comparison. So there's the old, or there's a Termagan on there. So you can see it's a pretty close approximation. It's a little bit bigger than the old ones, but not much. And we'll be putting this up on eBay as some sort of alien brood nest. Here's the copies of it that we did. The biggest problem we ran into is that the tips of these sort of, I guess, I don't know what you'd call them, these things right here, this gray thing I'm pointing to, didn't come out very sharp on the copy. They're actually pretty blunted, if you can see right here. So I guess we're going to try to shake the table a little bit more. Our vibrating table should have provided a sharper contrast there, but they just kind of came out kind of blunted at the tips. That being said, still a very, very usable copy. We're going to be putting these up there probably the next couple days on eBay, so you'll be able to look for these. I think these will also make a decent spore pod. If someone needed something in a hurry, they could use these instead of their traditional spore pods, just as a proxy until GW releases theirs. It's obviously not very tall. This is a smoke plume that we came up with. This is the original that we sort of cut up and modified. So here's the smoke plume that we came up with. And the idea with this is that you will take it, paint it up like black smoke, and then you pop this on top of your vehicle, either when your vehicle pops smoke or when he has when he's destroyed. That way it'll look like a smoldering wreck. The advantage to something like this is that it allows you, something a little nicer and more concrete than cotton, I think. But I like cotton. It's just this is sort of a cheaper, not a cheaper version, but at least something a little more substantial. And you can just rest this right on top of your vehicle. If I had a Rhino out, I would show that to you, but I don't. Again, here's a size comparison. Here's a Termagant. So you can see it's a pretty sizable thing. It'll certainly fit on top of a Rhino. Or for something like a land speeder, just put it beside of it and lay it down on the ground. It's got a nice flat bottom, so that'll sit on your table really nice and easily. Work continues on the Tarrasque. We're continuing with that. We started on the torso we did, and then we've done the tail and the lower body. So that will be completely covered with gray stuff, and it will be scaled to look bulkier and thicker. And ultimately, he'll kind of look like sort of a Chinese-ish dragon, sort of standing humanoid. These are these are fins, obviously, from a Star Wars kit. I'd always wanted to try to do a Forge World Hell Talon. These are close to the right size, actually. Now, the Hell Talons are much nicer. These are just going to sort of be a poor man's version of them. So we have these engines strapped here on the bottom. We ordered some cockpits, and we ordered some autocannons. So the autocannons will be stuck underneath of here, and the cockpit will be up here on top. I played around with using a Valkyrie cockpit. The problem is that it's just, it's a little more expensive as a bit. So I found some Lego cockpits that we're going to use, and those are nice and fluid, and they'll sit on top of there. We'll probably mount this to an oval base of some sort, put some doweling in there, and probably sell those off on eBay too. Let's see what else. A couple new Dooms hiding in there. This one in particular, he's a new. So I'm still trying to finish off the last of my alien bits as much as I can. So the Dooms of Malantai are going to be going for a lot less. So if you've been looking to pick up one, you've been looking to save a couple dollars, now's the time to look. The wings I've been using for my Parasites and Mortrex have finally just about ran out. The vendors I've been buying them from have finally I've exhausted their stock after building over 60. So these are kind of a new version of the Parasite and Mortrex I've been working on. These wings are from a Halloween toy bat, and the old gargoyle bodies formed the basis of this guy. Then I just give him some scything talons, and I mounted them as a flying base to these capillary-looking tower things. So those work pretty well. He's just glued on there, and he's on a 40mm base, so he'll stand out a little bit from your basic table gargoyle. I built 2 of them to start with. I'm going to see how these guys do. If they do well, I may do more of them. If they don't, then I'll just discontinue the line. So if you've been looking to buy a Parasite, now's the time to do it, because I may not be building them for much longer. And the Kugoth that I had sold, or that I had put up on eBay to sell, never really sold very well. Or never sold at all. I kept dropping the price and dropping the price. Finally, I just said to hell with it, I'm going to paint it. So I have primed that thing up, and I think now that it's primed, you can see that it has a nice even sheen to it. This is the Citadel GW Prime, which I really, really like. And then here is Kugoth himself. I primed him black as well, but I threw a necrotic flesh, which is a green color from Army Painter, which I really like. Put him on there. So there's a nice contrast. And I'll be, painting this up probably in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be nice. And I may put it back on eBay. I may just give it away as a gift. I've got a lot of Chaos friends. This is something I don't know if I ever showed or not. I wanted some sort of massive air elemental. So we took this Magic Fulcrum from the Storm and Magic line, and we just increased it by about twice as much. We stuck more stuff on top of it, took these old skulls, worked them into this sort of chalice looking design, and so we made it a massive air elemental. So there's the basic GW stuff, there's the skulls they had, and then as you continue up, we blended airs in there seamlessly to make this gargantuan air elemental, which I'll be painting up here shortly. So I guess that's about it. If you have any questions about anything, or you're looking to have any models commissioned, just contact me. You can reach me at caleb@whitemetalgames.com. Still looking for any sort of web designers out there who are in the Raleigh-Garner Triad area who are looking to get into designing a website for a miniature designer. We're to that point that we're looking to migrate to a server. We're looking to get off of eBay as much and start to do our own stuff. So if that's you, contact me at the same email address. I'll flash up my email address here on the screen for those of you who need it. And until next time, happy wargaming. Thanks, guys. Bye.